가자!
Sonic Speed!
I'm positive the biggest and some of the most interesting news to come out of Sonic Forces is the game's story, especially after this E3. I want to discuss exactly what the story could hold and what layers it can have, because there's so much going on in this game right now, and I think people aren't looking at the story as much as they are for the gameplay. Even though gameplay is a key factor of the games, we've had games like Sonic 3, the Adventure series, Unleashed, and such, and one of the big factors people absolutely love about those games is the story. Those games, mostly the adventure games and Unleashed, had a more serious tone to them and balanced comedy and down-to-earth moments with more of a focus on action and a darker tone. We've gotten confirmation those darker, more serious and action-centric tones will be the basis of stories for future Sonic games. And we all know how serious Sonic Forces is trying to show. We obviously know Eggman took over nearly the entire world and has borderline won. In most Sonic games, the tone's usually cartoony and light with the whole, oh gotta go fast, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, gotta defeat Eggman. That is not what Forces is trying to be at all, dude. Like, Sonic's completely like, oh shit. Eggman took over almost the entire world and has fucking destroyed it, dude. This shit is completely fucked, man. You can't take this matter lightly anymore. Like, Sonic knows that this cannot go on any longer and that he needs to get shit done in order to save the world. There's a new power that brought classic Sonic from another dimension into the present, and it's the same power Eggman used to take over the world. It's not the same classic Sonic from the past in generations. Apparently there's time and space distortion involved than simply time travel. This could pave way for writing the story in a better structured way, because time travel can lead to many contradictions and confusions, whereas using dimensions doesn't affect the main timeline. There are even soldiers among the resistance that guide the Avatar, so there's more layers to a darker tone and a revolution like some wars and rebellions have. They really are defining forces in this game, with how many allies Sonic has between him, his friends, classic Sonic the Avatar, and these brand new soldier characters in there as well. But the big thing, as well as the biggest enforcement in the word forces, is how many villains we have on the dark side supporting Eggman. Shadow the Hedgehog is back and is on Team Dark, Metal Sonic makes an appearance, Chaos from Sonic Adventure returns, and Zavok from Sonic Lost World is even making a comeback. All beside a brand new villain by the name of Infinite. I'm willing to suspect Infinite is that specific power Eggman used to conquer the world, as well as bring classic Sonic into the present. If classic Sonic is somehow brought from another dimension, the same could be said for some villains, because there's a lot of ways the story could go in terms of using these villains. That and or mind control could play a role here as well. Infinite's origins and motives are things we'll find out closer to the game's release, I'm pretty sure. I'm willing to bet we'll get another big trailer either really soon, since E3's not over, or sometime this summer. Regarding the villains themselves, how they're back and thirsty for vengeance has different scales of logic and reasoning. Metal Sonic and Zavok make the most sense because Metal Sonic is always out to kill Sonic. He's always had a personal vendetta against him with how he was programmed, and will likely follow that specific motive out of his own desires, since he usually does follow his own rules and doesn't support his superiors often, like Eggman. Metal Sonic's always been a popular villain, everyone loves him, I love him, and it's really cool to see him come back. Zavok is one of Sonic's more threatening foes, and is a foe Sonic held a grudge against during the events of Lost World. After the thrashing he gave him, it's reasonable to think Zavok wants revenge. Sega didn't elaborate on why Zavok is back, but I'm willing to believe he's doing this out of his own motives and hatred for Sonic. For those who never played Lost World, Zavok is a cruel and sadistic being. He's brutal, serious, cunning, destructive, and very malicious. He relishes inflicting pain, torture, and killing. He kinda sounds like Frieza in a way. So Zavok is a dark-ass villain, and after how he begrudgingly assisted Eggman in the beginning of Lost World when Eggman enslaved him, I highly doubt he'd be doing this if it meant working for Eggman. It's either he's doing this from his own desires, or Infinite really has mind control abilities. But I think it's the former, because it applies to Shadow the Hedgehog, but we'll get to him in a minute. Zavok still despises Eggman. There's no way he's over what Eggman did in Lost World. But if it meant to kill Sonic, I'm sure he'd put aside that difference, because Sonic was the one that ended up defeating him despite his power-up in Lost World. And he doesn't take failure lightly at all, so he's most likely doing this on his own for the sole purpose of killing Sonic. Shadow, on the other hand, seems like such a badass yet bizarre choice for a villain again. Shadow's usually an anti-hero, often working aside Sonic when the time comes and they need to work together. In a world where Eggman practically reigns supreme, you wouldn't think Shadow would join the dark side, especially after the events of Sonic Adventure 2. But people are leaning towards the mind control aspect for Shadow on Team Dark, and I personally doubt it. especially after Sega clarified that Shadow is working with Eggman for his own reasons. Much like I believe why Zavok is teaming up with Eggman, Shadow could have some ulterior motive to joining his side. Maybe he'll pull a double agent like Rouge did in Sonic Adventure 2 and end up infiltrating and crippling Eggman's empire from the inside. Or maybe a part of his past came up and his mind may actually be corrupted / manipulated in some way, like what people say, or maybe in a different way. I'm willing to believe it's the double agent thing. Another bizarre choice for a villain, yet also badass, is Chaos, the god of destruction. The last time he made any big appearance was his first appearance in Sonic Adventure. Other than that, we haven't really seen him other than one spin-off and a multiplayer mode in Adventure 2, as well as his perfect Chaos boss fight in Generations, which all had very little to no impact on the story or anything. He looks amazing in HD. I am so psyched to see him come back, as well as Shadow. I love Shadow. I'm not a huge fanboy for Shadow, but I love Shadow regardless. Shadow's such a great character. The only wonder is why he's bad when he turned good again in Sonic Adventure. The only reason I could think of is maybe Chao could be killed or hurt in any way in this game. Maybe he's out to seek revenge on the mortals who caused it, much like in Sonic Adventure, or he was lied to about something along those lines, because I'm sure it'll take seeing Chao die just to get Chaos angry. There's gotta be some sort of manipulation going on here, if it's that or something else. Maybe with Eggman laying waste to the entire world, he somehow convinced Chaos it was Sonic's doing or something, I'm not too sure. Or this just popped up. What if Eggman needs the Chaos Emeralds and is using Chaos to get them like in Sonic Adventure? Chaos's main objective was to get to the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic Adventure, and whether it was with Eggman or when he abandoned him, he tried to get them all in order to seek revenge. That could be his only way to ensure Sonic and the rest of the 1% of the resistance succumbs to his rule, and it'll truly be over. The Chaos Emeralds are definitely playing a role in the story, especially for the 25th anniversary. After them not being used in Colors and Generations, I feel like the Chaos Emeralds have to play a part in the story in this game. Overall, Chaos's reasons are proclaimed as a mystery for joining the dark side by Sega, and I really want to know what his reasons are. I think every villain here is not necessarily working for Eggman because they want and chose to, but more so they have their own motives in doing so. Shadow is confirmed for that. Maybe there's a secret to those reasons that we don't know about. Chaos could do it for the Chao, or he could be lied to. Manipulation going on, maybe. Metal Sonic is itching to fight and kill Sonic like always out of his own programming and demands. And Zavok is basically the same, despite having to deal with Eggman, yet sharing a common enemy. Whether Infinite or Eggman play as a final boss, the Avatar will likely play a big role and leave near the end of the game, and modern Super Sonic might end it all. Overall, the story got super interesting for Sonic Forces now, between these returning popular villains and a brand new one seeming to behold greater power. I'm genuinely excited to know more and just observe how far this fanfiction display will go and what sense there is behind it. Zavok I'm actually decently excited for, Shadow I'm super excited, Chaos I'm super excited too, and Metal Sonic I'm excited to see return as well. I'm just really excited to see what this game has in store, especially for the story. If it could top Adventure 2 and maybe even Unleashed story, I think we're in for a really good treat. Thanks for watching and stick around for more Sonic Forces and other Sonic the Hedgehog videos. Stay super.